Oh, press the wrong button again. Hi, how's it going? I don't remember if I said thank you to VanGOP last week, but thanks. Hi. Thanks for following. So today, I wanted to make some kind of cinematic, big, monstrous hits, like especially those big, bassy drops, like kind of Vertigo feeling, like the super subby ones. So that's kind of the basis I'm going to be working with, and yeah, maybe just making some generic cinematic type stuff as well. So I reckon we want a few instances of Contact, maybe not actually 5. Contact, there it is. And those are basically going to be like our sort of percussive hits, and maybe a few little bits of ambience and stuff as well. But I really want some kind of bass instruments, obviously. So let's get an instance of Massive and maybe one of Retrologue. I want to see if this works. Yeah! And you can actually see what I'm doing. Brilliant. I'm still not a pianist. One instance of Massive, one instance of everything's been reordered still. Retrologue. 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 Nice. So let's try and find sub. That's not helpful. Bass then. Numb. Do I say numb bass? That sounds familiar. Okay, I mean that's obviously not what we want, but that's a good starting point. So what I like to do is try and think of the sound I currently have versus the sound that I want to have. So what's the difference between this sound and the sound I actually want to achieve? So the first thing is obviously this sound is that long, but we want something like really quite long. So the way we can try and do that, bring up the sustain, which is perfect because then it basically goes on as long as we want. Tiny bit of attack maybe. I don't really want any decay. So decay is, as you can see, this little bit here. Attack is how long it takes for the sound to come in. Sustain is how long it holds for. And then release is how much it sticks around after you take your finger off. So it basically leaves when I take my hand off, yeah? But if I do this, it stays around for pretty much forever. There it is. So we want something, and decay is how... I think it's how long rather than how much. Sustain is the volume, not the length of the actual held pitch. Decay is how quickly you go from that first pitch, the attack, back down to your regular one, so pretty quickly. And then we want a bit of release. Cool. So the pitch shift doesn't really go from the high that we want. I want quite a lot more, so I think we're going to try and use glide instead. Quite a lot of glide time. Ooh. But we want to go even bassier. That might work. Let's try and get that pitch sorted first. Unless there is a way to edit how much that actually does. I don't think there is. That's really annoying, isn't it? Or could we use... Let's get rid of the glide for the moment. A little bit, maybe. Could we use... I don't need to do the patching here. That's good, isn't it? Mod wheel is currently going to the filter decay. I would rather it went to pitch. But, like, more. Ooh. Ooh, that's what we want. We want a little more, so by the time we actually play that pitch, it's kind of fading in. Yeah, now we're talking. We're getting there. So we've got to find kind of the purest, lowest tone we can. And I wonder if actually we're better off using a different waveform. Let's see, because we've got noise. That's not really being used. How is the sub by itself? Quite nice. What about a different waveform? Can I move? Ooh. It's quite quiet, isn't it? Maybe this one? It's a bit rattly. Let's try that lowest one. Let's turn that all the way down. What's that sound like? Because my inclination would be to use the sine. That's super subby, isn't it? Let's turn that down a bit. Octave, maybe. A little more than an octave. 2 octaves. 24. Can I get that more? Oh no, that's not what I want. 24. Is it shift that does the precision? Oh yeah. 24. Close enough. There it is. With the sub. Oop. Keep moving that. Perfect. Maybe a little bit of delay on there. High damp, lots. That kind of kills it a little bit, actually, doesn't it? Wow, with the mod on. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm curious as to why we're getting more. There's just a bit of stereo separation there, isn't there? Right. Let's record that. What's going to be the best way? I don't know if I can be able to actually record it, which feels, I know that feels a bit lazy, but I think we want something quite precise. It was like A1, wasn't it? So where is our modulation? We could, yeah, I just want something super precise. So actually, I'd rather do it digitally than record it. So I think we're going to start there and then go all the way down. Too slow, I think. Let's try that. A little bit too slow again. Let's try this. And we'll get rid of that lot. What about a tiny bit of upwards as well? Oops. Go the other way. Yeah, like that. Nice. And I think we want it to stop basically as soon as it gets to that low pitch. So we'll cut it there. I think maybe we want a little... Do we want it to be even wider in terms of the pitch? Maybe not. Oh, here's an aeroplane right on a cue. every time. I think actually what we want it to kind of curve outwards and then hold for a little bit longer. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, and then really hold on that low bit. What's going to be the best way to do that? Let's try that. That feels a lot better. I'm going to get rid of that, actually. Let's draw that in again. Oops. So we're going to start up here. I'm going to go this way. See how that sounds. Nice. Yeah, so it really slows into that massive A, I guess, whatever that pitch is. I'm also going to pull this over here, just because then I'm always really paranoid about when MIDI commands actually kick in, which is probably completely unnecessary, but I like to have commands just before the note actually happens, so we actually get... Look, I don't have to justify my life to you, shut up. Cool. A little bit more release. That's nice. Let's try some of these. It's not enough. Maybe no decay. A little bit. That's quite nice. Right, what else we got? Let's just play with some of these sounds. I think that's what I'm making it so stereo, which I don't necessarily want. Ooh, that's quite nice. There it is. Can we stick another oscillator on it? Yeah, maybe a little bit of that in there. Cool. So let's call it bass Vertigo 1. Let's make a few more of them, just to give us a bit of variety. So let's do one C, and let's make it a bit shorter, quite a bit shorter actually. And then let's start from here. We're going to go there, and then we're going to, oops, we're going to do that. So I'm literally just changing things up to try and get a bit more variety. That was quite nice. Maybe starts a little bit too high, but whatever. And the reasoning is literally so we can create a variety without too much effort. So just making little tweaks to kind of get more variety. Because then some will be super appropriate for certain things. Some will make maybe no sense at all in any circumstance. So it's good to have a variety. That's a really long one. Maybe that one. Let's go G. And let's also, bloody plane again, have a slight upwards. Maybe even more slight than that. Yeah, that's cool. Let's do one more of them. Let's go for F sharp. And let's have a little bit shorter. Let's go downwards. And then, oops, come back. Upwards again. If you're sick of hearing planes, just think about how it is to live here and actually deal with this every day. Oh, that's not quite as smooth as I would like. How does it sound? Yeah, you can sort of tell that there's a big drop there, I think. So let's try again. So we go there, and then... it's not wanting to play nice, is it? Let's try that. There it is. Yeah, it takes a bit of back and forth. Down a little bit. I'm being really pedantic now, but it's important to me. You know what, screw it. It's not that important, evidently. And also, another reason that you have MIDI commands just before you play the note is because actually, if we didn't, this note might start at the end of the previous hit, if that makes sense. So, we've got a few different options here. I'm going to add in a chord track. And the reason I'm going to do that is just so I don't lose track of what pitches to use. So that's just going to be A for the moment. That one's C. This one is G. I'm also going to put them where the chords actually hit rather than where the MIDI starts. Yep. And next one, F sharp, that was it. I remember thinking, like, when they... G flat? Come on, buddy. Let's be positive. You're not going to let me... You know what, screw you. That's annoying that those don't sync up automatically, but whatever. I remember thinking when they brought out chord tracks that this is going to be, like, essentially cheating, but actually it's been a really helpful tool. I have 100% eaten my words. Okay, so we've got a few different ones there. Let's maybe try and recreate a similar thing with Massive. Let's use this C as an example. And we're basically just going to try and recreate the same thing. I need to mute that, obviously. Nailed it. Don't need to do anything else to that. Open the right instrument, that would help. So, first thing first is we need an oscillator. We need to get rid of the noise and have one oscillator. Something really pure. So if we've got a smooth... oh, let's try woody. That sounds normal. Let's try that lower. That might work. So we're going to assign that to be the pitch, and it's going to go down minus 24. So we're going to use that controller rather than the modulation. Actually, before I do that, let's duplicate those. Shut up. Just so we have another C over here. If we're gonna, we may as well, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons today, we may as well have options. So this is going to be macro 1. Oh no, I need to use the automation window, don't I? Duh. Bass Vertigo macro 1. So this, we're going to start down here, aeroplane. We're going to bring it down afterwards as well. So we are going to go... oh no, we're going to go the other way, aren't we? Like that. How does that sound? It's alright. I think it probably needs to go the entire duration like that. Okay, not a bad start. Not sold on that wave. Bit cheesy. Simple square? Nah. Let's try and speed this up a little bit. This is going to be worth it, I promise. Having much luck, are we? That might be it. Yeah, there we go. Let's alter the amplitude a bit more release, a little bit more attack. That sort of works. Cool. So let's have a think about an additional waveform, maybe. Because we had so much luck with the last one. Can we maybe... So we've got two different pitches happening. Sort of works. Maybe. I'm not loving this version, to be honest, but you know what? It's an alternate version, isn't it? So that's fine. Do we maybe want to put a filter on it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that. So I think also we'll use that control. Nah, not really into it. Let's put that over here at the end where we can sort of just forget about it, and if we use it, we use it. If not, whatever. Which is, so that's interesting, isn't it? That actually the more expensive plugin with the more options seems harder to get the kind of sound we want. So just a reminder, the thing we actually want is like this. But the thing we end up with is just a bit weak and flimsy. So now that we've got these different instances of our big bassy thing, let's try and add a little more to it, because I feel like when you have these kind of bassy vertigo moments in film, you don't just have the wubby type noise, do you? You normally have a bit more, maybe like a couple percussive hits or something. So let's open up contact number 1. So we're going to firstly make some hits. If contact stops freezing, there it is. One of the things we're going to use is the cinematic giant, which is like the regular giant, but it's all crazy noises like that. So let's do hits, piano, can't spell, hits piano, and then let's make MIDI track, hits again. That's going into that one. Fantastic. So also like the resonances and some of the other noises are really satisfying, but not necessarily applicable to today. That was weird. So I'm going to avoid putting any space on it, because we're going to do that to the whole effect, everything together. So let's firstly just find a small selection. Yeah, like that. And then how long do we need to hold that for? Longer. Definitely longer. Yeah, about that long. That's cool. Oops. So then the combination is this. Yeah, that's quite nice. So let's find a few more of them. That's much the same, but still quite nice. Oops, come on. Just trying to sync them up to the starts of the bars so we know they're in time. That's a nice one. That's also a nice one. I'm going to couple that one with this first one. Yeah. That's a nice thud. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, some of them are a bit too pitchy, aren't they? Like too obviously trying to be an A, guys. I'm trying to be a C sharp. No, they're just a bit too obviously a pitch rather than a hit. So I'm coupling some of them, but not all of them, and I'm kind of separating out those hits as well, so that they just feel like... It's the same thing you do with snares. You get 2 snare samples and you offset them a bit time-wise, so you get a bit more... you just get a bigger sound, you know? Maybe you don't know. Maybe that's new information. Let's put that there. Let's put you over here. And let's come up with another one for our reject that we may or may not use. That one will do. Yeah, those two together, I think. Always remember to save your work. Which I just did. By accident. Right, wicked. Let's hear some of these. See if any of them basically sound bad or problematic. So the first one. That's nice. C. Quite nice. Although that one goes on way longer than the actual bass hit. This one. Ooh, that one's really nice. It's a very slow descent there. I like that. Cool. Yeah, that one's quite nice. Lower that as well. There we go. And the final one. I mean, that's a bit meh, because that just is. Right, let's stick some reverb on these. I'm going to mute the Vertigo. And then we're going to use... Don't actually know what we're going to use. Let's EQ first. The reason I want to EQ is hits are generally quite bassy. As you can see, the actual hit happens here, but there's a lot more information there. I want to stay out of the sub ranges because obviously we're doing sub bass here, so I'm just going to nerf that end quite a lot. There we go. Maybe boost the high a tiny bit. Yeah, it just feels a tiny bit fresher, doesn't it? Reverb. I've basically never used Roomworks. Let's have a look. Helm's Deep. Ooh, that was weird. Get rid of the pre-delay. That's nice. Size huge. Can we expand the size as we go? Or is that going to freak it out? Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. Maybe we can... I don't know. Let's try playing with the width a little bit, perhaps. So let's... How are we going to do that? Automation. Insert Roomworks. What section is that in? Reverb character? Character. Width. Fantastic. So we are going to... let's try it first where we start in the middle tiny and then we go outwards. I didn't necessarily need the hand actions for that. I think you got what I meant. How quickly? About there. Let's try that. That's quite nice. What with the bass? I quite like that. What if we do the complete opposite? So we start stereo and we come inwards quite rapidly. They're both kind of interesting. Tell you what, I'm gonna do that one for there, and then maybe for this one I'm gonna do the opposite. That makes sense. Cool. I'm not going to make that quite so obvious for that one, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it sort of there. The reason being that I don't want it too mono, because then I think you're... I don't know. I feel like that's not really the point of cinema. The cinema, you can have massive, big sounds, so why not have massive, big sounds? That probably doesn't make any sense to anyone but me, but whatever. Cool. So that's hits number 1. Let's open up a few more hits. So we've used the giant. What else have we got? Damage. You got metals. Percussive kits. Hybrid effects. Exploding cars. Low drum skin effects. That could be fun. Oh, that's going to come up as the piano again, isn't it? My bad. Let's... Ooh. Heck. That's quite fun. We'll get rid of the delay on there. Yes. Now we're talking. Where was that? Nice. Very cool. Let's duplicate that. See if we've got a different sound. Perfect. And then another one for here. Whoa. What? That's like a whole world of stuff. Could that happen like after the hit? I like it, it's just so loud. It really dominates. I really like it, it's just a lot. Can we volume change that rather than being... Let's say most of them are like 90, 94, whatever. We'll lower that one down to like literally 20, so it's proper hidden. Maybe not that hidden. Yeah, because I like it. It's just a lot. Yeah, that's nice. So it's just sort of in there. And you know what? We don't need to use hits on all of them. Well, we don't need to use the same hits on all of them. Let's duplicate, do another one. Get rid of the volume automation. Hits number 3. What do we got? Let's go damage again. Hit tails. Like the fox from Sonic, I assume. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. Maybe that could be like a little bit before. So we got like... a little bit less before. Or maybe like after. In the middle. Yeah, maybe about there. That's quite nice. Just like a subtle extra again. It's all about being subtle and extra. That's what I find. Just in life. Let's get another one over here. Ooh, that's nice. How long is that? Bit before. Not that long. I like it. And let's go another one here. Like that. try it again before. This is kind of like the opticians. We're just basically like trying out a whole bunch of different stuff until we get to the thing that actually works. Tiny bit before. That kind of works. Still not mad in love with that sound though, but we'll deal with it. Right, so all together we have this. That's cool. Nice. It's got delay on it, hasn't it? It does not. Okay, whatever. Oh, I thought the sounds would all be the same. Never mind. And the last one. Cool. Do we want to do anything else to those? Just realised I haven't put my live light on, which means if I have any intruders, they're not going to be quiet whilst they steal all my stuff, so I'm just going to put that on. I kind of want like a little bit of sound before... There it is. Just a little bit maybe before some of these sounds come in. And I think one of the best ways to do that is with Kinetic Metal, which is just one of my favourite plugins. Bowed cymbals is usually good. I mean, you know how good that sound is, and you know where that comes from. You know that's something that you get in cinema all the time. What pitch is this? A. I don't know if they are actually pitched. Nah, that feels pitched. So does this suit the sound? Yes. Can it go before the sound? Probably. I kind of just like it in the middle of it. That's something that I think I'm going to automate the space of. That didn't really make sense to the statement, did it? Let's add a little bit of reverb. Not loads, just a bit. Cool. And we're going to spatial panel stereo enhancer. We are going to insert width. I feel like there we're going to make it proper wide. So you're going to go from 100 to lots. Maybe a little bit before that. And that's kind of hard to hear until we put the delay on. And this is basically just, I can't remember if it's called the Doppler or the Haas effect. Might not be either of them actually. What it is you split the left and right channels and then you put a delay between them ever so slightly, and it just makes it feel a whole bunch more wide. It's a psychoacoustic phenomenon. Delay. So again, we're going to go like a lot. How does this sound? Yeah, so it just feels like it's been pulled apart, which is nifty. We're going to go a little bit higher, in fact, from a little bit lower down here. Cool. All together we have this. Nifty. I kind of want these to maybe have a little bit of space. I don't know. Let's try it. I've not actually used this one before. Ambient dark. Nah. Let's use the basic one because I can actually control that. We want a lot of low, we want no high, no time. Let more diffusion. That's quite nice. We want no diffusion. Nah, lots. A little less time. That's cool. Nice. So what I'm going to do is... I'm just going to put that one in the bin because it's upsetting me. Let's do another one. C sharp. Good. Done. C sharp. Oops. C sharp. Yeah, D flat. Whatever. So I think I'm going to duplicate that and put it on this one. That's going to do the same thing in terms of width. It's going to be a G. Perfect. How am I doing for time? 53 minutes. Heck. Right, so I think we've got a lot of good stuff there. I'm just going to separate these out quite a lot. And I'm going to export some of these bits. So we're just going to go Vertigo, Bass, A. Nice. We're going to give it plenty of space to do its thing properly. Maybe turn down the reverb a tiny bit. Yeah. I'm just going to export each of these individually. Stream, yes. No, we don't want mono. So, Vertigo, Bass, A. Yeah, bring it back into the pool, I guess. Or no? Nah, what's the point? I'm basically just doing this to ensure that I've got all of the hits somewhere safe as they are. Vertigo, Bass, C. Vertigo, Bass, G. Just for variety, I'm going to change these guys like a little bit. Just so they're not identical. I don't know if that's going to make any actual difference. I'm just like a big believer in like just adding random chants into things and seeing if that makes them any better. Might not, who knows. Cool, export G flat, I suppose, if we're being pessimists, which we are. And then why not, let's go a lot more longer. Actually, I don't like that. A little bit. That's alright, I suppose. D flat. There it is. And then we're going to include everything else and basically have them as hits. Cool. So then we've got Vertigo hit D flat. Vertigo hit G flat. Da 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 da. Nearly there. Vertigo hit G. Ooh, what was that? Was that you? Right, so what we're going to do there... Oh, because the volume comes up. Duh. Just mute that there. Oopsie. Okay. Has that fixed it? Much better. Much better in that there isn't a mistake in there this time. Nailed it. G. And then C. Oops. So this is kind of a good lesson to just make sure that you've titled everything as best you can. You're not randomly just like calling them whatever. I'm using a pretty logical set of names, and I'm not changing that naming system dependent on the... Well, I'm only changing what is actually in the title, but the format's staying the same. Even down to calling it sharps and flats. Although I guess I would normally call them sharps, but whatever. I'm a liar. Who cares? Cool. So now that we've done those, we'll maybe do the same thing, but without the bass, so just hits. Yeah, so then we'll just do a big hit, and then we'll just call them numbers because these aren't pitched. Well, I think the... No, I don't think that is pitched. Might be. I could be wrong. Who cares? Yeah, just so then we have like a bunch of hit samples as well for fun. Big hit 2. And the benefit there, as far as I'm concerned, is that if you do want to randomly mix... I had a thought, but I didn't vocalize the thought before I started talking. And I realized that my speakers have been on this whole time. So that's probably made everything sound super roomy. I'm doing really well today, guys. What was I saying? So I'm using pitches for, obviously, the pitch stuff, and then just calling it numerical hit 1, 2, 3, 4 for just the percussive bits. And the benefit of having the individual exports is that when you... If you want to combine them later, so let's say that these 5 different versions aren't enough, you also have the option to add the separate hit and the separate Vertigo bass, combine them together in whatever software. And the benefit of having slightly different naming systems is you're less likely to come up with exactly the same one, because if I called it... If these were in alphabetical order, A, C, D, G... G flat, then G, I guess. And it was also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that way, you'd just be adding the same ones to each other. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't make any sense, but who cares? I care. I wanted even more sounds to sort of come in, like a little bit more ambience here and there. So let's see. I don't know if Contact is necessarily the right instrument to use. Let's maybe see what's in the Pad Shop, because I know that's full of cool stuff. Perfect. What have we got? Dark Streets. That's a bit like a bad Blade Runner ripoff. That's cool, but not necessarily appropriate. Let's have a look. Elementary Bells. 2 musical. Fallout Zone. Ooh. Maybe bass here. Can I get rid of the diarrhea sounding thing? Mostly. So that's a major chord. That's like an augmented. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try playing the augmented chord and then just pulling the pitch down a bit. Or actually, no, let's go upwards. And then we have the bass downwards. So let's try recording that first. So we're going to start down. So presumably the hit would happen here, I guess. So let's bring over these guys. It's going to happen there. We're going to call this E. It's going to be E augmented. So now altogether we have this. Is this going to work? I need to actually change that pitch. There it is. Kinda. That pitch bend needs to come down there, doesn't it? So I'm going to do the same again, but I'm going to have the click track now. Start down. Cool. Let's maybe pull those in a bit. Not that much. There we go. Let's also thicken it a bit there. Is that E going to be too loud? That is, yeah. Let's try that. Maybe we lower the volume there quite a bit. Not like masses, but like a little bit. And sort of have it crescendo slightly there. And then we're just going to fade that out long before the other bit fades out. Hopefully. That sort of works. I feel like we want a bit more, other than just this pad, we want like a beat or something to kind of prepare us that this dive is about to happen. So let's maybe add, I've got a spare, it's calling it drum, that's a bit vague. Let's go for studio drummer, and let's go stadium full, and we're just going to use something with toms. Because that sort of feels like the most... If I have something specific in mind, I'll usually go for a drum kit, because then I actually know how to write for drum kit. So... let's bar 35. Let's have the kick in there as well. On that, where it dives, and the low tom. Yeah, we can always lower those if we need to. So I feel like triplets. And we're going to double them up there. We're going to flam them. So rather than bum, it's bum, or like really close together hits. Oops, sound card freaking out a bit there. Change the velocity a bit. There. See how that sounds. See how it sounds? Hear how it sounds. kind of cool. I want a different pattern. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Lower the velocity. Da 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 da. That's quite nice. Does it need to be harder? Oh, da 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 da. Let's try it with those in there as well. That's quite nice. So maybe we'll just lower the volume of that a tiny bit. -4. Yeah, there we go. From the start. I feel like we want that to fade out a lot faster. And even then, I'm not 100% sold on it. That's kind of cool. Right, tell you what, I'm going to leave it there for today. I achieved basically what I wanted to, which was to make these crazy Vertigo drops. Trying to think, but my brain doesn't always let me. Yeah, so I've got these nice Vertigo drops. I'm surprised that Massive didn't really let us do it as well as Retrologue, considering Retrologue is free with Cubase. But whatever. And then we kind of combined them with these hits from what was it? The Giant, and then a couple damage kits, and then we added in some Kinetic Metal as well. Part of me really wants to experiment more with like having the drops come in from somewhere, some element of a score, or come out, or have some element of a score come after it. But I really feel like they're basically standalone things. They don't really make an awful lot of sense in the context of a wider score. They are just like standalone tricks almost. But that's my feeling at the moment. That's likely to change. Whatever. Thanks for hanging out while I did this. It was fun as always. A little earlier today because my life is crazy at the moment. I'm just thankful I could keep to a Monday stream, to be honest. So yeah, my Wednesday game stream on Let's Play is probably going to be tomorrow rather than Wednesday for reasons. And yeah, what else is happening? Oh, I've got videos coming out every Friday, UK time, 4 p.m. UK time on YouTube. There's a link below. And this, as well as all the other live streams, will be archived on YouTube. So if you want to go check them out, that's where they all are. If you want to find me on Twitter, that's where I normally let people know that I'm about to live stream. It's at LTGuitarist. Again, there's a link below somewhere. Yeah. See you next week. Toodaloo.